Well, with Hamas still holding hostages, Iran flexing its terror proxies, and global adversaries watching closely, what's the real impact of Trump's diplomacy? Now, joining me is a man who understands this region in a way few commentators do. Patrick Bet-David is here, and he's the host of the wildly popular PBD podcast, founder of Valuetainment, an extraordinarily successful entrepreneur and producer of Her Take, which I am always excited to be a part of. More than that, though, his personal story starts with fleeing Iran as a child, escaping a brutal regime that still fuels terror today. He's lived the reality most of the so-called foreign experts only read about in briefings. Boss, welcome to the show. Tell me the upside here. Sell me on the good side, right? For America, what do these deals mean economically and strategically?
Well, first of all, it's great to be on with you. I love the tie. I agree with Chris Cuomo. But here's what I would tell you. I mean, for us to simplify, let me just go to the people that are, no matter what Trump does, you're not happy with them. During Biden's 4 years, how many times did we hear another country say they're thinking about investing into America? I don't remember seeing a lot of stuff. So you get this contract of 1.4 trillion is UAE, 1 trillion is Qatar, 600 billion is Saudi. Then you get all these other companies committing to investing here. President Trump says around $10 trillion. Let's just say it's $5 to $7 trillion of money that's being invested in U.S. I think that's a great thing. The other part you got to be thinking about is when he goes to the Middle East and he's sitting with all these leaders, Saudi, then goes to Qatar, then while in Saudi, meets with the leader of Syria. By the way, this is the first time a U.S. president has met with a Syrian leader in 25 years, which this is a guy that was a former al-Qaeda member. So it's not like he's sitting down with somebody that's a friend or an ally. So what is he saying? What message is he sending to the world? Maybe he's trying to send a message to the world because he's saying, hey, Iran, just so you know, if you want to come to the table, if I'm willing to meet with the president of Syria, I'm willing to meet with you, but on my terms. Hey, Israel, I just want to let you know, this Abraham Accord I'm working on, you know, this is something that we also got to be thinking about, that I don't want you to go attack Iran and go after them and do a war, because I don't want a war. Never forget when he was campaigning, and they asked him, they said, so what do you want to see in Ukraine and Russia? Very simple line. I want to see people not dying. And by the way, the fact that he has the audacity to go sit with these types of people and the welcome that he got, this is not what we saw when Biden was president.
You know what? You brought up two things in particular I want to ask you about. Israel wasn't directly a part of these talks. Do you think that sidelining them in these negotiations as our key ally in the region sends the right message, though?
I think if there's anybody that has understood the idea of negotiation in his career, negotiating with people in New York, all the power plays, it's President Trump. Everybody else is a politician who's been a president the last 20, 30, 40 years, and politicians like to do political deals. This guy's trying to get up there and say, look, I'm not for you if you want to attack, and I'm definitely not for you if you want to go with your nuclear weapons. I'm trying to get everybody in the Middle East to be at peace. If the Middle East is at peace, the world is in a better place. We don't have a lot of noise. We got people getting along. And he went to the Qatar guy, said, look, I sat down with the Saudi guy. You know, you guys kind of remind me of each other. Both of you are tall, handsome, all this stuff. He's trying to bring unity. And you can tell who the alpha in the room is. It's not anybody else but him. And we kind of need that. Having said that, if there's one thing I will say for somebody, I lived in Iran almost 11 years. And pre-1979, Iran would have been a place, Jillian, we would have gone for vacation. We would have said, hey, Jillian, what are we doing this summer? Let's go to Iran. What are we doing this winter? Let's go to Iran. You'd see a Frank Sinatra commercial. Dean Martin would be there. You would see the former, ambassador of Iran, Zahedi, dating Elizabeth Taylor. Iran was a place where the wealthy would go to. Before there was Dubai, there was Iran. But today's regime since 1979, if they tell you they're not going to have a nuclear deal, never negotiate with Iran knowing they're not going to keep their word on nothing, especially today's regime. Whatever you tell them, they're going to do everything and anything behind your back. They will not keep their word.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.